This is the KitchensinkWP Podcast, episode 380.
I program my home computer.
We have a server crash, 404 error, page not found, links aren't working, system is crashing, system is crashing, system is crashing.
Your old HTML website, barely alive. We have the technology. We have WordPress. A new website, better than it was before. Better, stronger, faster. Well, hello, everybody. This is Adam Silver, the host of the KitchensinkWP Podcast. Thanks for being here. Let's get started. All right, starting off with upcoming events. We have one. It's WordCamp Europe, but it's not next weekend. It's actually today, the day that this episode comes out on June 7th. It's the 7th, 8th, and 9th. It's 3 days long. It's online, of course. So if you're listening to this after that, I'm sorry you missed it. If you're listening to it the day of, the morning of, get on over to the website and register. It's free, and there's amazing 3 days of amazing speakers and whatnot, so check that out. That is it for the upcoming events. Nothing next weekend, like I said. All right, moving on to segment one. In the news, two things here. Some acquisitions. ACF, Advanced Custom Fields, was acquired by Delicious Brains, which is pretty cool. And I will put a link in the show notes about that. I have a lifetime license on ACF. I use it from time to time. I'm still trying to get my head around it sometimes, like where to use it, when to use it. Some people live and die by ACF. They love it, which is awesome. But apparently it's in great hands moving forward, so that's pretty cool. Also, acquisition news, Iconic was announced that they sold to Liquid Web. Another one by Liquid Web, and they have a new software brand called StellarWP. So there'll be a link in the show notes about that as well. There are a couple more acquisitions this past week. Keeps happening, kind of crazy. Maybe one day I'll be acquired. Who knows? Anyway, all right, moving on. Segment two, the meat and potatoes this week's show. 6-month check-in for the year. Hello, June 2021. It's crazy, right? Time has flown right by this year. In my opinion, it seemed like last June went at a snail's pace. Maybe it's just the pandemic from last year. Maybe that's what it was, but it was slogging along. This year, it's been fast. With that being said, I wanted to remind you all that it might be time to do a 6-month check-in on your business. A review either halfway through the year, it's not a bad idea. Keep you on track with your annual goals. Make sure you're still focused, and that we know without the check-ins, drift can happen. For those not familiar with the term drift, per se, consider the term that we use in the web dev agency in the world here, scope creep. Shiny object syndrome, new business ideas and offerings. Yeah, it's better to stay the course of your goals than to kind of get drifted apart from time to time. So, like children, like babies, they get a baby check-in every 6 months or so for the first few years of their life. I'm a fan of doing the same for business. So here are 6 things to consider as we've just passed 6 months of the year already that you might want to take a check-in for your business and your life as well. So number 1, rest. Yeah, are you getting it? Yeah, it's an odd thing to start off with as a business owner. But trust me when I say it, it's super important. Time away from keyboard, AFK. You have to do it. Stress will build up if you don't pay attention. Burnout is hard. It's sneaky. It just kind of comes up on you, and all of a sudden, you have no desire to do anything. The minute you sit down at your desk in your chair, your shoulders hurt. It sounds like I know what I'm talking about, right? I do, 100%. So you need to get away from your computer. You need rest. Pushing all the way through that grind will come up and bite you in not a great way. So number 1, make sure you get enough rest. Number 2, finances. I've said it before. I'll say it again. Review your budget, your expenses, your debt loads. Update your profit first spreadsheet. Expenses like I just did after tax season. So now that you've done taxes, it's been a few months. Make sure that you have the right things that you're paying yourself for, deducting from those accounts. Start making payments to any EIDL, small business loans that were prolific last year. For those here in the States, it was a small business association. They gave out money, 3% interest. Well, those are now starting to come due, starting to make payments due. So that said, depends on your state and who you are, where you are. Some of those were pushed. The payments don't have to start till next year, 2022, but the interest still starts accruing as of this year. So keep that in mind. And then also cut the wasted things you're paying for. AAK, you don't need everything that AppSumo's selling if you're not using it already. So just keep that in mind. Just saying, AppSumo has a way of getting people just to buy stuff. Anyway, okay, number 3, moving on here. Review your marketing efforts. Are they working? Do they need to be refreshed? Look forward into the calendar and start planning for future calendar related dates. Examples being like back to school, Black Friday, Cyber Monday. Calendar just keeps pushing along. Dates keep going. They keep coming. So kind of maybe review your marketing efforts. Number 4, review your processes, either onboarding of a new client or a follow-up of leads, of new leads, because this can be essential in converting leads to clients. Take the time right now to create a plan if you don't have one in place. Consider how often you should follow up. What materials do you need to have on hand that address common questions or objections? Work on those things and be prepared is all I'm trying to say here. Okay. I recently, just as a side note here, came to my mind is that I recently have a exit email template that I just created. I just lost a client on the maintenance side. So I have a goodbye email saying, thank you for your business. Here's some information for you, but it's a template, so it's done. So I just have to click a button next time it happens, and it will happen again, and I'm prepared. So there you go. Okay. Number 5, remove, delete, or cancel what no longer fits nor excites you in the business. This is a biggie. If you had a new offering or service that you were planning to blog more and you're not doing it, you're stressed and you feel guilty, stop. That level of guilt and pressure will immediately be removed from your brain and you'll feel better. Your shoulders will relax. So just cancel what doesn't fit for you if you're not excited about it. If it's a burden, maybe just put it off to next year even. Put it off for 6 months. Put a reminder to revisit it if it's something you want to look at. But it's okay to stop doing things. If it's not working for you, move on from it. And number 6, plan your next 6 months right now. Now, what are the 1 or 2 things, maybe 3 things, that you want to accomplish by the end of the year? But remember to use a SMART goal. SMART being specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. Without those, it's hard to track if you've made any progress towards it, okay? And lastly, I recently heard a term called destination addiction in a podcast, and it really resonated with me. If you have anything to take away from this episode, is that changing the destination of your journey may not lead to that aha moment where rainbows and waterfalls exist and the money is plentiful. Acknowledge and ideally enjoy the moment you're in right now in some little way. Just notice that if you're always addicted to a new destination, a new thing, at the end of that road will be the I'm here, I've arrived. Just kind of maybe wean yourself off of that just a little bit. I think I'm trying to as well. It's we often have what we need right in front of us, not what's down the road. Okay, so there you go. Just 6 months goes right by real fast, and we'll have 6 more months. We'll be in January, just in the new year, just like that. All right, moving on. Segment 3, tip and tool of the week. This week is a plugin. It's a tool. It's WPCore Plugin. There's a free and paid level. It's over at WPCore.com. There's a repo version as well. Actually, you need part of the repo. Anyway, it allows you to set up plugins to be installed at a one fell swoop. The free level lets you use what's in the repo. Paid level, you can have premium or custom plugins. Pretty cool. You can use a private repo, like your own private area, or you can make them public. It's neat. I tested it. It works. Check it out. It's like $50 a year if you want to pay for it to have your own premium plugins in there. But it's pretty cool. I'm digging it. So that's it. So let me wrap it up here. If you have any questions, go ahead and send it in via email, adam@KitchensinkWP.com, or use the SpeakPipe function on the website. You can support the show, become a Patreon, KitchensinkWP.com/Patreon. Sponsor the show. You can do that too. There's a form on the website. If you're looking for some business coaching, I'm over at adamsilver.com. And there's a ebook there you can go ahead and grab regarding how to pick and find a business coach. If it's not me, that's okay. Just have the knowledge. Go ahead and download it. It's free. It'd be awesome. All right. Thanks for listening. See you next week. Now go out and do some awesome things with WordPress. All right. Bye-bye.